And
okay, so you mean we lost the traditional Swedru Fankoma?
Every region had a
Blacks.
team.
Yeah.
Whole Mighty Eagles, Whole Sunset, Fankoba All Blacks, Dwarfs, Vipers in Cape Coast, Wise, Hazakers in
Secondary,
Bafakwa Olympics, Hearts here,
Standfast
Kotoko,
at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Kotoko Cornerstones.
Yes.
Bafakwa BA.
Yeah.
Savannah United and Gwewa Stars.
Oh, I see.
Before it became Real Tamale United.
Oh, I see.
Bolga Mighty Rocks.
So that's how it was designed.
Yes, so
very similar to the English situation.
Very, very similar.
Very similar.
And that's why the English league is so strong, because the smallest of teams, even down the fourth tier,
they have a community base. And you go to their home ground, you better be ready. And that's why they love the FA Cup. That's where they are able to. That's why they get the big men.
Shocks. Yes, so that passion virtually disappeared from football. That we'll have another day to discuss.
We'll talk about that later. How is the campaign, though?
I think it's going very well. But before I talk about that, I want to lay a little perspective. The fact that Dr. Bawumia was elected November 4th, 6 clear months after his main opponent had been elected. Moved quickly to set up his campaign team, strong structure, moved around the 16 regional capitals with a well laid out, consistent program, meeting major stakeholders around the country, put together a manifesto team that has worked and finished the first draft and is in the final stages of completing it for his perusal. This shows someone who is ready to govern. Very clearly, very serious about it. He's now moved into the second phase after selecting his running mate in Kumasi. And last week we did over 20 constituencies in the northern sector.
After you left Kumasi for the running mates, you'd done 20.
Yes.
I saw the videos in Bimbela. I saw you dancing in one of the videos.
I was attending the Konkoba dance.
Oh, that was in Konkoba area.
Yes.
What is the message when you go to places like that? Is it a different message for different places, or is it about the same? Because you always have to confront high economic prices, high cost of petrol.
You see, if you are a serious politician, there's a strong dichotomy between the rural areas
and the urban areas. What concerns the rural area?
Of course.
It's
very different. I mean, if you are going to Tatale, which has not seen coal tar since independence.
Since independence?
Yes. I've been around this country right from the days of Edubwani.
In 92?
And if you go, traveled with Kufuor in 96, 2000, Kufuor 98, 2008, 2012, and all that. On my own as General Secretary candidate. And you look at the massive development that this party, this government has brought to the people of Ghana. The equity.
Oh, the equity. That's really the big deal.
That's a really big deal.
So that Accra can look like Tatale.
I stood in this station. I even said that I think the government has spread itself too thin.
Yeah, you did. There's too much going on everywhere.
I mean, no government since independence has attempted to build major health facilities at 111 locations. That's
amazing.
That's amazing. I mean, I think we stretched ourselves too thin. I've been around. I've seen a lot of them. 60, 70%, some 90%.
Complete.
And some ready to be commissioned, I think about 5 before the election. And you go communities that used to have only 6 communities out of about 60 with electrification. And now we have about 45. And by the time we get to election, maybe 100% coverage. So you go to Woolensey, in those days in 1998, atrocious conditions. They tried to move from Pandai, Woolensey, Bimbila, Yendi, that road. And it is now straight through, right through to Ketakachi, joining in Chumuru, through to Northern Volta.
But maybe the roads were done by Mills or Mahama, was it?
No, most of them were done
by Akufo-Addo.
I know what I'm talking about, because not long ago when I was contesting as General Secretary, I was 10 years in 2014. I knew the state of the roads. In 2015, when I was going around supervising the registration, electoral commission registration exercise, I knew the state of the roads. The massive improvements in infrastructure, health, education, facilities. People appreciate it. And don't underestimate the free senior high school. Every chief, every place that we went, we're giving testimony
About how that policy has helped people.
Has helped people. The fact that we are now having 1.4 million students in school instead of 800, it means there were about 600,000 who were fallen out of the net because they couldn't get the finances to do so. So there has been major progress in different areas. Of course, we all recognize and admit the shortcomings, the economic difficulties, which is global but has bitten us more in our country. So people appreciate what the government has done. And in fact, Dr. Bawumia, he's been around for quite a bit, 16 years. And going around with him, he's done a lot of work even before he became vice president. As candidate, you know, he's touched the lives of millions of Ghanaians. Places where he's helped them with facilities, in churches, in mosques, in schools. And the people know that he has empathy. Character matters in this leadership thing, okay? And I think that he has that. He loves people. He's concerned for the underprivileged. He's concerned especially for people with disabilities. He's a patron of the Lepers Aid in Ghana and the work he does with them. And when you go with him, and I've been 3 occasions with him, and I have to say that, you know, the ease with which he will carry somebody who's recovered from leprosy, you know, all of us have these hang-ups around us. You know, you could see this is somebody who is genuine, has empathy.
So this video, for instance, the people, what are they excited about? It looks like it's in the night.
Yes, yes.
And they're holding torches.
We stayed close, depending on the, you know, they were excited about him. They like him. He's, you know, Dr. Bawumia is a very nice person, very good human relations, hardly says any bad thing about people, never really gets angry, you know, and so people like him. He's a very likable character, and he's turning things around. And he's an exceptional candidate for us, the MPP. Why? Because he has put to bed the perennial propaganda. The NDC was riding on 2 planks. From 1992, it was terrible. That they just stereotype the MPP as an Asante party. Sometimes I can't, but they really say you're an Asante party. And they go down into the nooks and crannies of this country and tell them that, look, don't vote for the Ashantis. Very tribal campaign. You understand? At the end of it all, that's how come his main competitor, the former president, was able to come out openly and say that we are all watching.
Whether they will give him that thing.
Yes, and that they are just using him. And he's sorry for his brother.
Yeah.
This is a major statement that he made.
Yeah, he did.
It will never happen.
Yeah, he did.
He did say that. Not only him, his general secretary
said
also
that too.
Said that. You know, and the fact that he won with 61% of the vote, close to 70% of the super delegates, 61% of the vote in the general election. And for a first timer at presidential, that was the highest vote.
So that's interesting.
Yes, that was the highest vote.
For any first timer?
For any first timer. You can add all of them, from a Dubois to Kufuor.
I've never thought about that statistics.
Yes. For a first timer.
Well, he's the biggest winner of a first timer.
That's right. So,
but he was only first timer who was vice president. No, Ali was.
No, Ali was.
Ali was.
You can't say that. I'm just telling you that he's used his position to good effect. I mean, sometimes they say incumbency pays.
Yeah.
But he has really used it, because as vice president, to win over the parliament is a very strong segment of our political work, you know. So if you can have more than 100 parliamentarians out of 130 openly supporting you, then there must be something good you have done. So he's got 2 good interpersonal skills, and I think that has worked for him. People like him. He respects people. His humility is very documented, and he does so naturally. It comes across him naturally. He's not somebody who loves the perks of power or all the hang-ups of protocol, because there are several times he breaks protocol. You have to pull him back. You know, naturally he likes, and you see, you have to look at his background. I mean, he was one of 19 children.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I mean, he's got 17 surviving now, and he
tells me had 19 children.
Yes, and he had a very tough beginning. I mean, when you are 19, however well your father is, you struggle.
Yeah.
You understand, to the extent that he used to do some menial jobs, work in farms on holidays, and when he traveled to study in the UK, had to drive as a taxi driver to support his education. Did similar work in Canada when he was doing his studies. So he knows what it means to be in denial. And so he suffered before. And having risen through to become a deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, where we deal with money, and then vice presidential candidate for 2 terms, and then vice president, up to today, not a speck of debt. That says a lot. And it's that kind of leadership we need. And I do believe when he spoke at UPSA and spoke about leading a new chapter, it's so aligned with what I was talking about, the new dawn. And I could see in a lot of things that he says, the restoring the culture of hard work, meritocracy, professionalism to public services. These are things that align to the things that I believe in. That's why I'm so attracted to him, and I decided, oh, look, I'll work for him and help him, because I think Ghana now, we need to move on a different trajectory, new dimension, new direction. That has to happen. We have to ask ourselves as a country whether we have been our best version as Ghanaians. Not only the politicians. It's easy for people to whip politicians with all the things that they want to do. But I think in Bawumia we have somebody, and I have confidence in him, to be able to change the narrative and change the direction, the trajectory of this country. It means some drastic departure from what we have been used to. And I wasn't surprised. I said I think you don't need more than 54 ministers. He thinks 50. I still think.
But why did you have 54?
I think the 19 cabinet should be just that. Every ministry should be a cabinet ministry.
So you have 19 regular ministers?
Yes, just consolidate all the others into 19. Give everybody 1 deputy. I don't see why.
So that takes us to 38.
38, and you add the 16 regional ministers, that's 54.
Oh, I see.
That's 54 for me.
1 deputy for finance?
Yes, why not?
They have officers like the UK
finance has
has.
Simply become a treasury anyway. And I've always never believed in finance becoming a super ministry. I've had disagreements with even the Honorable Osafo when I was press secretary. I don't understand why somebody does work in the Ministry of Health and he has to go through all the payment procedures, and after that go back to the finance ministry and start another procedure.
Imani have criticized that, and they compare us to Nigeria.
It is wrong.
Where when the budget is allocated to the minister, it is to the minister. If he wants supplementary, he can go to parliament through finance.
So finance has this give me system that has a platform to make sure that, look, when the money comes in from the consolidated fund, pro rata, it goes out. And then finance's job should be to monitor and make sure you didn't budget, you are satisfying all the controls that we need to have.
Like a regulator of sorts.
That's right, of a regulator of sorts. And maybe they add the economic planning function, which is now with NDPC, and it's a bit confusing. But anyway, I think that Bawumia has shown that he's a hard worker. He's prepared to get down to the ground, do some retail campaigning, touch hearts and souls. And that's what it is. People are excited to take selfies with him. The kids, and in the strategy of having this youth connect.
That seems to be working like magic.
Because you see, all political leaders, if you are really genuine and you want to be a good political leader, you should be brave enough to subject yourself to scrutiny. And when he goes and sits in front of students...
How does that work? Samuel was trying to explain, but I didn't get it. When you finish the morning campaign, then every evening in the town, you set aside time for only youth to come and meet with you guys?
Yes. Students, workers, artisans, hairdressers, all the...
So they know that Dr. Bawumia is in town. He's meeting us at 7 at this hall.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys are there, they come.
We set it up, they are there, they come in there, and then he delivers a statement. Okay? The vision of transforming a country based on the 4th industrial revolution that this world is in right now, the digital world that he wants to push this country along, a data-driven society. And the beauty of it is the question and answer session.
Oh, they ask him questions?
Yes, you remember a nurse asking him a very difficult question.
What did the nurse say?
About the alawa and all that. That time, the allowances have been delayed.
Yeah.
And he promised that, look, he will work hard with the finance minister to release it. And some releases have been made. He admitted that, yes, there have been problems with it, but at least it's better with the government that reinstated it than with someone who cancelled it. So he doesn't only go to lecture people. And when he meets the clergy, wherever he goes. Muslim clerics, faith-based organizations, after delivering, he allows them to ask questions. The issues of the LGBT and his views on things, very difficult questions are asked. The banking, you know, some,
the banking questions are coming.
I didn't know some of or so forth.
Where they had money
in some of these, you know, so, and they questioned it, you know, and that kind of thing. So it shows that he's prepared, he's mentally on top of his game, he's very sharp, he has the vitality. Look at the amount of times he's walking around the country. He's very strong, and you know, it shows the confidence of a man to touch every Ghanaian, and it is not regulated. Even the security have a tough time with that, because all he sees, he catches somebody's eye, he goes there, he shakes the person, and they are all, you know, all over him. And I think that has been good, is dispel the mystique of who political leaders should be. They should be close to the people. You are the vice president, you are the president. You are elected by the people. They give you the power, and you should be close to them. And I think the strategy is working, and the momentum is gaining ground. I suspect the NDC thought it was a done deal for them, because in all this time, they haven't been able to put together a campaign, a sustained campaign. In fact, it's only recently I saw that they had now set up a campaign team. That's over a year after being elected. And so it tells you the state of preparedness. So Ghanaians are watching. They know that he's far more prepared. I mean, this is someone who is in office. You are in a position, and you can't prepare a message to face the Ghanaian people. You can't conduct or prosecute a very efficient, effective campaign around the country. And we have only barely 4 months to elections. So who would they trust with the mandate to efficiently run this country? I do think most Ghanaians would hang their bets on Dr. Bawumia.
Irrespective of the economic situation, irrespective of the fact that they said Akufo-Addo was disappointing, Dr. Bawumia said things that he would do, he didn't do. All of these things keep coming up.
Look, being in government is very tough. And I'm sure Dr. Bawumia would have learned some experience, built some stock of experience from what he's been through. You know, it's not everything that you intend to do that you may be able to achieve when you are in government. You understand that. And the Ghanaian people know that the amount of work that the government has been able to deliver in these very difficult times. And there has been a global crunch. So many people think that it's only in Ghana. But you travel a lot.
No, the Ghanaians abroad tell us.
Yeah, it's very tough outside. I mean, these days when you go out, you can't even shop, because things that you buy for $40 are now $120. You understand? I mean, inflation in places that was always lower single digit are heading close to double digit. So that is not to say that we couldn't have done things differently. Of course, I'm sure there have been shortcomings, and he realizes it. And I think I would trust him, and I know majority of Ghanaians would trust him, to lead us into this new era, new chapter. Is more important about our values, to restore our values as Ghanaians, and the respect for even governance and democracy. Right now, the confidence that people should have on political leadership has taken a little bit of a beating. You understand? And I think he's the kind of person, he's not materialistic. I've been around him, I know, from his hometown to Tamale. He's not materialistic for someone who's been vice president for close to 8 years. And I have confidence that he's the kind of person...
I'll take some messages. Let me ask you questions people wanted me to ask you about Nalerugo. The ambition of the Bawumia campaign in Nalerugo is that they should get every single vote cast in Nalerugo. Is that possible? That's his hometown.
Every single... No. His hometown is Wale Wale.
Oh, sometimes Wale. Oh, Wale Wale Adam Smith, yes. In Wale Wale, in Wale Wale. But it's in the Nalerugo district or what?
No, Nalerugo is contiguous to...
Okay.
Yeah.
So in
Nalerugo, Gambagaga,
yes,
Mumfurugu, Yoyo, and all those are the northeast constituencies.
Northeast constituencies, okay. And their capital is Nalerugo, is it?
I don't think, but...
Wale, they want him to pick up every single vote in Wale.
It's not possible. He knows that. I mean, he's done a lot of economics and statistics, and knows that it's statistically impossible. In fact, Wale has always been a tough seat. It has always been a tough seat.
It's an NDC area?
It has been till recently. And even now, I mean, it's one of the sore points even currently, because we have a little situation there that we are trying to resolve. You know, so it's not going to be easy. Nobody, at least those of us working with him on the campaign, are not taking any chances. Anybody who thinks in Ghana, Paul, you've been through with this
elections
from 1992, and in Ghana is
split down the middle.
Two-party state. It's the UP and the CPP.
Yeah, still.
The NDC now the CPP, and the UP now the MPP. You understand? And both parties can have 43, NDC 43 guaranteed, MPP normally 48, and then they have to look for that extra to cross the 50. So anybody who talks the way they are talking, they don't know elections. Even with Rawlings, when he was tying our hands behind our backs, you know, he couldn't do those things. So it's always going to be a competitive election in this country, and we are not taking any chances at all. We're going to work very hard to persuade the Ghanaian that they are better off with the MPP. Mind you, Ghana is 67 years after independence. You take out the current term, which will be eventually 8 years, hopefully, President Akufo-Addo complicit. For 8 years, that is 16. If you add that to Buzia, 2.5, how many years?
18.
18 and a half years. There are those who say that...
No, you have to add a FIFA.
That I was going to say that. There are those who think that that's a military coup, but...
Okay, 3
let's
years.
Give and take that.
3.
It was inspired by the UP tradition. Okay. That's what people want us to believe.
And Victor Usu was the Attorney General, so fair enough. Yeah.
Even if you add that, it's 21 years.
Of the UP tradition.
Of 67. And I think that if we had had more time in government...
That tradition,
the UP tradition, this country would have been far away a better place to be. You know, and I think the Ghanaian people deserve to have this tradition run the country for a much longer time. And we have a historic candidate. We've never elected, I mean, I don't believe in politics of tribe or politics of religion, but these are hard facts, because these are the propaganda tools that were being used against us in the Zongos.
That you don't like Muslims, you don't like Zongo people?
Yeah, it was there, and they were using it without shame. Now they can't say so again, because our candidate is a Zongo boy from Wali. You understand? And a Muslim to Ad. Yeah, you understand? So I do believe that he was elected because the party people recognize his hard work and his competence. That's why he was elected, not because of his religion. But in politics, some of these things can add up. So we are battling the NDC in their strongholds.
Well, that's the plan.
Yes, and the Volta region is also very good, because the propaganda against MPP in the Volta region was, you know, just move the ante. I can talk, but they see Bawumia as also...
Oh, that was the main point in the Volta. Okay,
been.
Building up on Victor Usu's so-called whatever. Yeah.
You understand? So this election of Dr. Bawumia has put to rest that. It shows that the MPP is a very inclusive party, that we don't discriminate, in that even if you're a minority in our party, most of us are Christians in the MPP, but we voted for the Muslim.
Yeah.
So that should send a strong message to the country that it is his time. Every season, and the leader that pops up, and I'm very confident that he will win this election. It will be tough. It's going to be a struggle, because that's what it is. Our strengths are not the same. I know the MPP has more numbers. Anytime we've won elections, 1,800,000, 700,000, you know, the NDC, when they beat us, is very small. So if we have harmony, cohesiveness at the local level, and that's where I think the party machinery, that's where they should be focusing on. The harmony at the base of the party. Because there's still some issues arising, because a lot of senior people had been defeated at primaries, you know, and it's caused a lot of tensions as we move around. But we try to use the little experience that we have to talk to people, for them to understand that the big picture is the presidency and the party. And as has been said, it's better to be a messenger in a ruling government than be a general secretary in opposition. So for any MPP person, it's time to restore us back to basics, the values that initiated this party at birth. I mean, that spirit of dedication, sacrifice, when people were prepared to give something to the party. I mean, you look at the elders who gave their all, sold their houses, never got anything back in return. Some even died before 2000. That is the kind of spirit I want to see every MPP person, especially at the polling station level. Work hard, be dedicated. You put yourself up to be a constituency executive, then you should be prepared to sacrifice. My life, my political doctrine has been on what I call the triple S. Prepare to serve your country, prepare to sacrifice for others, and be selfless. Deny yourself. And I think that in Dr. Bawumia, we have someone who can direct this country in that way so that we become a customer-friendly people. You see, our civil services, even our attitude to ourselves, our attitude to work, a lot of things has to change. As Ghanaians, we've got to reposition our thoughts, recalibrate the way we do things as Ghanaians, and not see politics as a piece of cake to be shared by cronies. That has to stop. And some of us, for as long as we are healthy and strong and around, will be advocates for propriety. We have to do things right. I was watching you with the earlier issues about the LI and the kind of things that people do for political expediency. The blatant lying, when it is clear. Had you not produced that video for people to see? But these are politicians who come out there and then on the altar of political expediency, they are prepared to do anything. That populism does not develop a country.
Because it's for the ballot box.
We need genuine, public-spirited individuals in this country. And I am always trying to advise and prevail on the younger generation coming, that they shouldn't look at one or two bad examples and see that that is the route to political success. That's the trajectory. Build a career for yourself, and then when time comes for you to serve, go in there that you are going to serve. It's service to the public. Politics must be for the public good, not for individuals' aggrandizement. There's been too much of that, and there are things that I personally hate, like selling off state assets to politically connected people. I've never liked it. Even when I was in government, I never ventured for those things. I dislike it. It is wrong. What belongs to all of us should be held in trust for all of us, not to be parceled off to individuals with political connections. We've got to stand up for the Ghanaian. I
remember in 2008, I don't know whether you remember, one of your friends, I'll mention his name, came to your office in Kanda.
Yeah.
I said, oh, kwabena, the cantonment assassin to baby man, out to go, man, she. And you told me that, look, you believe in this Legon, you're going to continue to live at this Legon. President Kufuor is not going to be power forever. You want to stay at this Legon. If you find money, you buy something. You're not going to ask government to give you anything.
You see, I remember that. We have to build a spirit of contentment in the Ghanaian people. More so we the politicians.
So you still live at this Legon?
Yes, I still live
same place?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I'm comfortable with it. It's a nice, beautiful little...
It's become nicer with the roads. When you were there before, it
was the bush.
It was very bush.
In fact, the then National Security Coordinator, Mr. Francis Poku, I was attacked by armed robbers.
Yes, in the early part of the government.
2001.
Yeah.
He said I should come and live opposite GIS.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
I came and looked at that. I said, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay where that's my own building. If I get sacked, I don't need to pack my things. I'll stay at home. But this is just humor. But I think it's important that we cultivate the new politician. You talk to young people, they have such disrespect for us. It's amazing. Kids in school are being questioned on television, and the things they say about us, because you, the media, are part of it. You are just putting out information that everybody goes in there to fill their bellies, steal.
No, it's the politicians. It's really Joe Gatti has been talking about it. He says that people don't respect politicians because politicians came out to tell people that other politicians are thieves, just so that they gain.
I remember in 2007, the 17 of us.
Yeah.
And I met Asidu Nketia, and he had said, Akrofo do so. You remember that?
I remember that, yes.
And I said, Asidu, you don't speak like that. When you speak like that, you denigrate politicians in the eyes of everybody to come back to hunt us. You shouldn't do that. I am not a thief. I've never stolen a cent of public money. I don't do that.
But
I don't need it.
They say it's for political gain. Because you watch UK and America, especially the UK, you never hear a UK politician call another MP a thief. Never will they do that.
You remember when I was General Secretary?
Yeah.
And some of our people went to picket John Mahama, then President.
Oh, yes. You got upset with
And
it.
I got upset. They said, I've been bought by
Yeah.
NDC.
Yeah.
I said, no, once the president leaves the shores of the country, he represents all of us.
You can't go and do a
You
demonstration.
can't go and call him a thief in Germany.
No.
I will not accept that.
I remember.
Yes.
It was a big fight.
Yes, and I said, I can't accept that. And I said, I don't want the future President Akufo-Addo
to go somewhere
to
and
be
then
insulted
they do
that way.
Yeah.
So when it happened some few years ago, somebody said Prophet Kwabena agyapong.
Yeah.
I said, you see, there's always time for the truth. Let's do well as a country. And I feel that you can live a fulfilled life without being fabulously rich.
Yes.
I've never been fabulously rich, not poor, though. I'm quite okay. I get by.
Oh, but you've not been poor. When we were young, you used to give us food at walk-in.
Yeah, I was
When we're hungry,
as
come
a
to your
civil
office.
engineer, I
We'll
was
come to
making
your-
more money.
We used to come, myself and from Brazil, when we were hungry, we say, let's go to Kala. And then you organize walk-in for
Because when you
us.
are doing civil engineering, consulting for Bank of Ghana, GASM, you
get something.
Yeah, Ashanti Goldfields, doing big projects, I went into politics to serve, and I want everybody to do so. Yes, you get whatever you deserve.
Yeah.
You'll be compensated. You'll be fine. So you don't need to do the extra things that hurts the economy, that hurts our people. And it's something that I want to be an advocate for the rest of my life, that I remain strong and able. And that's why I'm in this. Decided to stay in the party, unlike some who decided to leave, to support the candidate of our party, because I'm an eternal Democrat. I believe that once the majority have spoken, we've got to respect the majority's decision.
Let me take text messages. People are asking me to ask you questions about Alan Chermartin. Do you think that they should reach Alan Chermartin to get him back? Some are asking, do you like the running mate Napo that was done? You were on the stage. What is he doing with dwarfs? He and his family have done a lot of good work for dwarfs. Bubala is dwarfs, not vipers, eh?
It's dwarfs.
He's certainly dwarfs, okay.
Kojo Alata was vipers.
He said, ask Kwabena agyapong whether he remembers Nana Fitz.
Of course.
And if he says the club, then I'll clap for him.
Nana Fitz.
Yes. Which club was he?
Nana Fitz, I think it's 11 white.
No, it's Cornerstones.
Nana Fitz, yeah,
Cornerstones.
Yes. Nana Fitz, my friend.
Say Nana Fitz in
Yeah,
Kumasi.
Kumasi,
Yeah,
yeah. Maybe we have to divert to football a bit.
No, please don't. We need to do the political questions.
Cornerstones was for the migrants.
Yes.
All the Fantis, Zimas, Gans, Ewes.
They were all corners.
Yes.
Against Asante Kotoko.
Against the indigents. You come to Accra, it's a similar thing. The Gamashi area was Hasselfolk.
Yeah.
And then you go to Eastern Accra, Olympics.
Okay.
Ndungwa and all those.
Teshi Ndungwa.
That kind of thing. The same in Cape Coast. Ebusian dwarfs for the indigents and vipers for the settlers.
Oh, I see.
You go to
in Sekedi, who are the indigenous Hazakas?
Indigenous wise. No.
Oh, indigenous rather wise.
Yes, Hazakas is for those who had come to.
Oh, the Asantis and all
then
those
Mr.
people.
Nati, the girls who were doing
they were
construction
Hazakas
and all that. Yes, they were Hazakas. So it was an interesting social mesh.
Very.
Yeah, that we used
Engineer
to have.
Kwabena agyapong knows almost all the political situations in Ghana. I'm happy that he has joined the DMB campaign, and he gives hope that we can win 2024. That's for Master Planner Junior in Kintampo. Okay, let's start with the first question. Alan Chermartin's campaign is not going well. Do you think
I don't want to pass a comment on that.
I don't know why he says that. I don't know whether it's not going
I
well.
don't want to pass it. And again, I take friendships very seriously. I've had a very long brotherly relationship with Alan Chermartin. He's like a big brother to me.
Oh, I see.
You understand? We are very close. We've been very close. I disagree with the decision to leave, because I think for something that we've all built with our sweat and toil for over 30 years, and he was the president of the Young Executive Forum at the very beginning and all that. So, and we all took part in this election. I didn't see anything that went so seriously wrong with the election. It's just that I didn't get much of a vote. He had a bit much more than me, but couldn't make it. So I thought he should have just accepted it, and then, as a true Democrat that I know he is, should have worked with the winner of the election, which is Dr. Bawumia. But he's an adult, so we can, but we are friends once in a while. I saw him the last time at a function not too long ago. We had a little chat. I'm sad that he's not with us, but I don't want to comment on that. I really, truly don't want to comment on that, and it hurts me that he's not with the MPP, because I think he played such a big role at the formative years of this party, and having served as the party has also given him a big.
He's the longest trade minister.
Trade minister in the country, cumulatively.
6 years, 8 years.
Cumulatively about 11 years, and then ambassador for close to 2 years. So, if you're talking about the party also,
the party has given him,
provided him a platform. I think he also has to be grateful to the party. It works both ways, and for me, I was disappointed in that decision. But he's still I consider him a friend and a brother, and I think it will remain so. We will disagree politically. I don't think an independent candidate can do much in Ghana. It's not easy to run a campaign. It is not easy to run a presidential campaign. So I knew that it would be tough to go the full hog, and somewhere along the line you may lose steam because the resources.
So when you're going to the campaign, if you can get viewers a bit more information, who is waiting for you there at Bimbilla? Is it the constituency chairman? Is it the MP? Who is waiting?
No. I mean, you mobilize your people.
So some have gone ahead.
Some, yes. I mean, there's a campaign structure. You don't want me to give you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As much as you can.
We have a department of advances.
I see.
Yes. I mean,
so it's a full operation.
It's a
major one.
It's a mighty operation.
But that's expensive.
It's very expensive. It's expensive.
Wow.
Even me on my own running a shoestring presidential campaign, the one I did, decimated all my savings.
I see. What is the money spent on?
No, I mean, look, you have to look at the people. Of course, they say that you need some people around you, some senior people. It communicates well. The optics good.
Yes.
For the party that, look, we are all rallying around our candidate. People have to sleep in hotels. They have to ride in vehicles. The vehicles have to be powered by fuel.
You have a bus?
Yes.
Dr. Bawumia has a bus?
Yes.
But you have to fuel it.
The bus itself is expensive, isn't it?
There's air conditioning in it.
Of course, there is. The bus is better but there are certain parts of the country that the bus can't go. So, for instance, when we were going to Chirpone and Bumpurugu and Yoyo, we had to get four-wheel drives for that. But if you are in most of the country now, because of the work that the MPP has done, I mean, the 168 kilometers from Tamale, Yendi, Zabzugu, Tatale, right to the Togolese border start.
Oh, wow.
For the first time in those days. I mean, Salaga.
That's massive.
In Salaga, this one I can't say, but there was someone who was, when I was running President Akufo-Addo's campaign then in 1998, one of our coordinators now is a very big chief, so I don't want to mention the name, but he used to appear in Tamale fully brown because it was dust all over.
I see.
I mean, from Tamale to Salaga, through Palbe to Salaga, was hell. Even now, we still have about maybe 8 to 9 kilometers to Salaga, still undone, even today, as we are talking. But we had to do all that. And that should be the breadbasket of Ghana. You should look at the plains, that area that should be able to supply all our needs agriculturally. So running a campaign and you have to visit.
So you need money, you need people who are dedicated to it. They are working on it 24/7. They have to be intelligence people.
You need logistics.
Yeah.
You need flyers, you need posters, you need flags. T-shirts are now very expensive. You need a lot of.
Do you pay the people who attend?
No. You don't do
the large crowd, the youth connect.
You can't do that.
There are a lot of people.
You can't do.
So how are they motivated? Do you give them juice, orange juice?
No. Orange juice. I would have to check with the
logistics people.
The logistics people. But no, I don't think. I think maybe I've seen people distribute water.
Yeah.
I've seen people distribute water and all that. That's what you do. But of course, I mean, sometimes as we were going around, you give transport. Not to them. I'm talking if you meet a dedicated group and you have to invite somebody to come and listen, you may have to support his transport.
Yeah.
I did so as a candidate, and that has been done from a Dubois days.
Yeah.
So it's part of it. I mean, so it's very expensive.
So now that you are all in Accra, is it a 2 days break? Is it 1 day break? What is it?
I don't know whether I'm allowed to say, but it's cabinet time.
Okay.
So today is Thursday.
Yeah.
So cabinet, I think his cabinet, so that's why he's here.
He's
and
here,
I think
okay.
he had some duties on police council yesterday. So as he's still the vice president,
Yes, of course.
he's having to walk a very interesting road because he's both the candidate and the vice president. So he's trying to reduce a lot of his official vice presidential functions and concentrate on the ticket, which is more dear to his heart now.
At this stage, yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's why I think on Sunday we'll be back going to Savannah, the other parts of Savannah.
Oh, you're still in the north. So you're going
Yes.
to clean up the whole north before you start descending.
Not all, but most of it.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have a template. And maybe I shouldn't say it
No, don't
before
say
our colleagues.
Don't say it.
You know,
Wow. Matthew Poku Prempeh is the running mate. What went into the choice?
But Paul, you know that the choice of a running mate is the sole prerogative of the candidate.
Yeah, but after he's done it, he probably must have shared with you the inner campaign people.
That is not something I want to share with you. I mean,
Okay, I get it.
He called me and had a discussion and,
Yeah.
and said he had settled on Napo.
Yeah.
So I called Napo to congratulate him even before the matter came out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, because as soon as I had